Welcome to another exciting edition to Grove City Hockey Podcast. I'm your host, Ben W. Stock, along with my tag team partner, Collin Corbett. How we doing, bud?
Good. You got my name right.
Yeah.
You got my name right.
We'll get.
Yes.
I'm good with first names, but you start throwing in last names, and it's like, let's butcher it just for fun.
Let's butcher it for fun. I mean, it's just Corbett, but whatever. It's fine.
Right. That's what I said. That's what I said, though.
You did it. You did good.
So we're back talking to you about our first tournament of the season for MIHA. Last episode we talked about the season recap from last season, championships. Now we're going to talk to you about what just happened this past weekend.
All right. Well, let me ask you, how was it? Because I wasn't there.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was really good to see some of the new teams get in there and get some action going. And then as well as seeing some of the returning teams that did really well in the finals, They come back and they played. So, so it was pretty interesting. So
there's some surprising stats for me that I saw when everything was like winding down and everything. It was pretty interesting to see the first week went well, and it's just to see who came out on top. It's exciting.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. So our first stop was in Indianapolis, Indiana. So our first stop was in Indianapolis, Indiana. Indy Inline at Ellenberger Park, home of the Indy Inline Club. We had 3 champions crowned, T3A action, T3B, and some T4 action. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, no man, it's good to see Chicago Tropics, man. They freaking wiped the floor there, it seems like.
Yeah, they went a perfect 4-0 on the day, nice. Or on the tournament.
Yeah, nice.
They won their first 2 games on Saturday and then won it out on Sunday as well.
Hey, you can't ask for anything else, right? That's a good showing.
Yeah, they played some really good teams this weekend too. They beat last year's runner-up, the Mary Pass, in the semifinals, and they actually, once we get into it, but I was surprised by that outcome.
I unfortunately didn't get to watch all the games because I was having to run the adult league back home, but I saw, because on my Facebook I follow MIHA, and you see all the pictures come up throughout the day of all the different turnouts and stuff. That one, I was like, whoa, wasn't ready to see that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, the Tropics coming in at 4-0. The Desperados came in at 3-1. The Chicago came in 2-1. Indian Line was 1-3. The Street Sharks, they were 1-2. Same thing with the Mary Pats, they were also 1-2. And then the Grove City Thunderbirds, they were 0-2 and 1. They lost it in overtime, and that was actually a really good game to watch.
Sad to hear it though.
Yeah, it was. They played like they should have won that game.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents on that one.
That's good to hear. No, I heard it was a good game because I got to talk to some of the guys and stuff about it, and I heard there was some really good hockey played. It's just, I'll probably just to save the time, I'm going to say about both teams. I mean, it's their first time coming into MIHA actually as Grove City Thunderbirds. This is our first year doing it. Gonna be some bumps, but hey, at least they put up a fight. That's all that matters.
Yeah. As long as they can make some adjustments, I don't see an issue with those guys competing, with any of these teams in MIHA. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like I said, you win some, you lose some. Keep on going.
Yeah, you can't win them all, right?
Can't win them all. This time they didn't win any of them, but what can you do? That's the semis.
Yeah, we got some T4 action. So we got the semifinals between the Windy City Syndicate taking on the Chi-Town Shamrocks. And we have the Indy Inline taking on the Lansing Street Sharks. Last year, the Lansing Street Sharks ended up not losing. I think they only lost 1 game all season.
Yeah.
And they lost their first game of the season on Saturday. So we'll do our first semifinal game will be Indy Inline taking on the Lansing Street Sharks.
Yep.
Well, both teams came out with a very solid, strong first period. They had 0 goals, so it was really much of a defensive effort, more so than anything. And then you didn't really see any action other than the Lansing Street Sharks, just giving a couple penalties in the first period. So it wasn't too crazy. Outside of that, then Indy Line scored 2 goals in the second period, one by Zach McKelvey and Harry Shaw. That made it 2-0 after 2, whereas the Lansing just could not get anything going. So the Indy defense really stepped up in this semifinal game and really kept Lansing from really any scoring opportunities. The third period saw Indian Line throw a quick goal right at the beginning of the period, and then Lansing didn't really score until like the last 2 minutes of the game. So the final was 3-1 in favor of the Indian Line. This was like I said, it wasn't a fast game. It was a smart game, but it was filled with lots of penalties.
Well, that's that kind of thing, though, with like inline. It's all about playing smart hockey, and it's a lot of just controlling the play, right? Like that's kind of the most important thing to do with like that much space and the speed of it and everything. It's just about controlling the play. And Indy is one of those teams that I've noticed a lot watching them play. They're really good at like kind of playing that shutdown defense and playing that smart hockey.
Yeah, they really know how to maintain that puck possession because really puck possession is key to any game. Once you have that puck possession, the time of possession in your favor, it's really hard for the other team to any kind of offense.
Well, if they don't have the puck, they can't score. That's just how.
That's right.
It's just how it goes.
It's simple hockey. So then we're gonna move over to the Windy City Syndicate taking on the Shamrocks. So this one surprised me, considering that how many of the Shamrock players were actually leading in points. I think he had the overall score right now. I mean, it's only 3 games for the Shamrocks, but Brett Threshman Jr. has 10 points, 5 goals, 5 assists. He leads both the points and in the assist category. And then of course he's got a couple of teammates that are right there with him. Dale Schellinger, I think he's got 9 points. And then I believe there was one more. It might have been Josh. Josh plays for Windy City. He was up there. I think McKinley is the other one that I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
So, he was up there, and I think he was in the assist portion of it, or goals. He might have actually been in the goals, like top 3 or something. But again, after one tournament, it's still early in the season.
It still feels
this points race is going to change drastically through each tournament. So, but a shout out to Brett Threshman Jr. for taking the overall at the moment. So let's get back into our summary with the Chi-Town Shamrocks, one of the oldest teams and one of the founding teams of MIHA. Back in the day when Sean Collin was running the team. So after one period, the Windy City Syndicate came out and just asserted their dominance right away. It was 2-0 after 1, and then 3-0 after then they added 3 more goals in the second to make it 5-0, and then finished it up with 2 more goals in the third to make it a final of 7-0.
That hurts. That hurts.
And that stings. And I was like, man, and it's been a long time since I've seen a lot of shutouts, especially in roller hockey, because it's very rare to see.
And it's usually pretty high. Even the last game we were talking about, seeing those low scoring games are kind of rare most of the time too. Like even that 3-1 we were just talking about. But man, yeah, that's just a team that came to play and just didn't let off the gas. Wow, that's just unfortunately you get those late, you get down by that much, especially after the second. It's deflating. It sucks.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just like, and I will tell you this: I expect the Shamrocks to regroup and collect. I think they were just tired. I think they actually ended up having to play an extra game. So it is what it is at that point, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, what can you do? What can you do?
Right.
Shake it
so
off.
Moving on to T3B action. We're going to start out with the Grove City Thunderbirds and the Indy Inline.
Yep.
So Indy making their second appearance on the podcast again. Both teams came a lot. Yeah, both teams came out with 2 goals in the first period. Danny Schwar and Anthony DiPicaro, both were assisted by Landon Hanna. Helped them out. And then Aaron Drebezinski and Corey Burton tied it up. The Thunderbirds actually had a lead for, over 7 minutes.
Yeah.
First period. So that, I thought, man, this Thunderbird team's actually going to do pretty well. Then in the second period, Grove City threw in 3 goals. Landon scored a goal. Then you had Josh. Anthony scored again to make it 5-2. And I think Indy called a timeout at this point and said, "Hey, we need to regroup." And so at 5-2, Nick Burton said he's had enough and decided to make it 5-3. And then a few minutes later, Corey Burton decided, you know what, 5-3 isn't good enough for me. I'm going to make it 5-4. And then the speedster for Indy, Sean Weinbrenner, came in and ended up at 5. And then you had Corey Burton adding the first goal in the third period. So after 2, it was tied up. Oh. Nope, sorry. After 2, it was 5-4. Yeah. And then Weinbrenner scored real quick in the third period. And then Corey Burton threw one in there to make it 5-6. And then your boy Michael Brewitt made it 5-7. And then Jesse Zane, or Zahn. Is it Zahn or Zane? Zahn. Yeah, Zahn made it 6-7. I thought we were going to see, another goal for the Thunderbirds because they were like, there's no way we're going to cough up a 3-goal lead and lose like that. But they played a heck of a game.
Yeah, well, that's what I hear. Well, and big shout out to Landon Hanna being one of those 3 in that point race right now. He's top of the leaderboard right now.
Yeah, he's got. I think he's got 9 points total.
If I'm not mistaken, I thought it was 10. I could be wrong. I could call him real quick. He'll probably know.
No. Oh yeah, he does have 10. So, Landon Hanna has 10. So yeah, he's got 10 points. I think he's got 5 goals, 5 assists, or something like that. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. They did a heck of a job playing. But that Indy team, last year's, I think they won the whole thing, right? In T4. Or no, T3. They were in the finals, weren't they?
Yeah, they're in the finals. Indy doesn't sleep, man. I swear, they never go away.
Yep, and that's for sure.
And unfortunately, that's the key of calling a good place timeout. You know what I mean? Is this? That's kind of the whole point. Is this team's on a roll? We are not. What adjustments can we make? And it gives that other team that's just firing on all cylinders to kind of cool down a little bit, and then now you're like, okay, we're regrouped. Let's try a different approach, and their approach worked. It apparently worked out in their favor.
Yep. If I could give one piece of advice, would be to it looked like the first time that the Thunderbirds had faced adversity like that. So they kind of went back into, hey, this is this isn't your rec league hockey. So there was a little bit of dissension between the two, but I think that was just frustration and emotion, which you love to see, but for a coach, you hate to see it.
It is what it is, right? Story goes on. There's another tournament, another day.
Yep, and so the Chicago Hitmen on the other side of the bracket ended up getting a first round or a semifinal bye, so they ended up just going straight to the finals, based on how they played on Saturday.
Well, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, it makes it for an easy day because you only have to play one game.
Yeah, it's gotta be beautiful.
So then we move on to T3 action, the T3A side of it. So then you've got the Tropics taking on the Mary Pats and the Desperados out of Detroit taking on the Lansing Street Sharks. Now, this semifinals really, really shocked me because two of these teams didn't score goals.
Yeah, that was insane to see.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen these many shutouts. Especially on a Sunday, where the games actually mattered. But give it to the defense on this one for both teams, as they were just like, you know what, we're not gonna tolerate any goal scoring today. And the goaltenders really stepped up.
I was gonna say, give some love to the goalies, man. Yeah, they got a shutout. The goalies had something.
Andrew Bogan was one of them. I think he plays with the Desperados, and he's your goals against average leader right now too. So, and then Chris Leidigsen for Chicago Tropics, a big solid dude. I think he's like, what it looks like. I mean, on skates he looks like he's 6'8", and every bit, half the goal.
Hey man, that's a nice person to put in front of the net. Yeah. Let's just put a wall in front of the net. No one will score. It'll be great.
So our first semifinal game in the T3A action took on the Detroit Desperados taking on the Lansing Street Sharks. Lansing Street Sharks adding a T3 team this year, and they did fairly well on Saturday, but it was not enough to overcome the deep bench and the stellar play from the goaltender for the Desperados. I actually pegged them to win the tournament that weekend, but as you'll see what happens here in a little bit.
So you're
after one, it was a very, very close game because it was 0-0. Nobody wanted to put the puck in the net. But then I don't know what happened, if there was just the Street Sharks just got tired, or Hangover Sunday happened. But they just let the floodgates open, and the Desperados just piled in 5 goals. And it happened to be a pretty quick succession, too. I think there was 3 goals scored in less than 2 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's just that just sounds like a goaltender kind of just being in his head a little bit then. Because that can happen. You have that shutout first period, and all of a sudden you just get scored on. You're like, oh man, that wasn't good. And then
especially if you let in a soft one.
It was a softie.
They were all real solid goals. So yeah. I just think the goaltender was just tired. I think the defense just kind of gave up a little bit.
Maybe that, but again, it kind of sucks though, because when they get that first goal, who do you know who scored those goals? All those quick goals.
Yeah. So you had actually Daniel Arnold started the onslaught with at 6:50. So if you go from at the 6:50 mark to the end of the third period, to the end of the second period, 4 goals were scored. Daniel Arnold scored 2 of them.
Yeah.
And he had, and then you had Jonathan Welsing. That kid was all over. He was just stellar defensively. You know, like when that puck came in his zone, he came out with it every time. But yeah, Daniel Arnold ended up having a hat trick in that. But then you had Dan Arnold with 3, Corey Davis had 1, and Jack Nolfel had the other one to end that period.
Yeah, so it kind of. So like my kind of thing with that is like for like the goalie, you know, you get that guy that gets that goal on you, and you just had to shut up here. You're like, oh no, like great, I'm the first goalie to get scored on, and it can take you out of that game first, like the game for a second, and then it's like, oh no, just another one. Oh no, now another one. Oh no, what happening? Well, what is happening to me? And you either gotta shake it off, or you're just gonna have what happened to you. You know, like, and it's hard. Being a goalie is hard.
Yes, I will attest to that because I think I played one season or like one game where I'm like, yeah, no, I'll play, and then I got shelled like 9-1, and I said never again.
I love it. I might be an idiot because I love playing in net. It's so much fun. But enough about me. We can keep going.
But then Dan got the final goal to end the game, so he ended up with 4 goals total in that semifinal game. So your final of the game was 6-0 in favor of the Detroit Desperados over the Lansing Street Sharks. The second semifinal game was the Chicago Tropics against the Chicago MIHA, runner-up in the T3A bracket, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And they ran into a buzzsaw. They just could not get anything going. After one, it was only 1-0. So it was a good game up until that point. And then the second period, the floodgates again just started opening up. 3 more goals were surrendered, and then 4 more goals in the third period. At that point, the Mary Pass goaltender and their defense just kind of like gave up after I think when they were down 4-0.
That's always a shame. Because,
granted,
I didn't get to see it.
Definitely mercy.
Yeah, see, granted, I didn't get to see it, you know. So, but you hate to see that, though, you know, because like being down 4-0, you can still come back. There's a lot of hockey left. You can still come back from that. There's no reason to give up, but maybe they just weren't feeling it.
I do expect the Mary Pats to regroup and come back even harder because they have some sickies. Feeling that because they had, I think they only had 1 sub on Sunday.
Oh, and how deep were the Tropics?
But I don't think I think they only had 2, maybe 3 on the bench, so they weren't that far behind.
That's still fresher legs. Yeah.
4 extra legs are better than 2. I will say that.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I mean that. And that's all going to comes down to like management of like the whole team's energy and morale there, you know, because if you only got that one person, then you kind of have to kind of rotate your roles a little bit. Like if you're up forward a little bit, you're starting to get gas. Maybe the guy's not ready to come off the bench. Maybe somebody else you just need to play back and try to play solid D. And unfortunately, if you don't have the right group of guys when you're running that small of a bench, it can be what it was.
Right.
It can be what it was. But anyways, so I'm excited, though, real quickly. Let's take a little break into MIHA talk.
Okay. What are we going to talk about now, bud?
I'm excited that I got to sit down with Dan Costa from Epic Hockey for a little interview to discuss... What? Yes. You knew about it. You didn't even talk about this. Oh, you're lying. You didn't know about it. You're just being silly. But yes, it's a great conversation. I'm so happy that he was able to take time out of his busy schedule
Absolutely.
To sit down and talk with me about how he founded Epic, and it is a great conversation. So I definitely, while we are at a good stopping point in the MIHA talk, let's jump right into that.
Awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to hear about it and see it.
Yep. All right, here we go. Dan Costa.
All right.
Hey everybody, Collin Corbett from GCH Podcast, joined by Daniel Costa from Epic Hockey. Just want to say, Dan, I'm very excited to have you as our first interview ever for our podcast.
Right.
Yeah, you are our first. I just gotta say, man, when we met you, when we first started talking GCH and Epic Hockey, to hear your story there, when we were kind of coming up with the idea for the podcast, I was like, I want this guy on here. Like, I want him to tell his story because it's just awesome. I love it. It's family owned. Your mission statement, everything about it. I'm a huge fan. I'm personally gonna purchase one of those hats that says "I don't tweet, I chirp." I'm getting one of those hats. That's one of my favorite things. That's awesome. So
it's a great line, right?
Oh, dude, it's a great one-liner, and some of you, yeah, and some of you might have seen us. We did an unbagging of these wonderful sticks that this man provides. Yeah, thank you for those, by the way. They've been fun to shoot around and stuff.
No worries. I hope they're doing well for you. Hope they're still kicking.
Hey, buddy, I'm a goalie, so any stick that helps me get my shot off the ground is great.
Nice.
But yeah, let's just jump into it, buddy. How you doing, and how's the fam and everything?
Oh, we're good, man. We're good. We just got back from Vegas. We did a tournament over there.
Nice.
That was fun. Played our hearts out. Probably played the best ice game I've ever played in my life. I'm not an ice hockey player. I really just am not an overall good hockey player by any means. But yeah, we played in the tournament over there. It was a lot of fun. You play one game a day, and then the rest of the time you're in Vegas. It's like
that's great. That's great. Did you hit the casinos?
I didn't. I'm not that big a gambling casino Vegas Strip type guy. But outside of the Strip, it's actually really nice over there in the desert. It's quiet. It's always warm.
Yeah.
It's like it's one of those places where you can go and you can kind of chill for a couple days and just forget the world exists.
Oh, that's awesome. And you always need that sometimes. So is that where the picture that just been floating around Facebook of you with the... Is that where that comes? Yeah. Okay. That's where that comes from. All right. Nice.
Yeah, that's where it was taken. Yeah.
Awesome.
That was our social media director lady. She decided she was going to take that picture and put on wrong answers only. I didn't see the wrong answers only part before I approved it. So then everything starts coming in. I'm like, what's this comment about? I'm like, I guess it makes sense then.
We personally shared our wrong answer. We personally shared ours. But you gotta love it. Yep. Hi. Yep.
Hi.
Hi. Well, hey, man.
Hi.
Hi. Love it.
What do you got? Telescope.
Nice.
So you can find me, huh?
I used to play with those all the time as a little kid. They were always on the side of the jungle gym, so you could like look in and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, man. Well, let's just kind of hop into it. Everything. The start of the company. What kind of inspired you to do it, and let's kind of just tell your story, man. The floor is yours.
Yeah. So I love hockey. I've been playing since I was 8 years old. I grew up in the roller scene, played that for forever and ever and ever. Basically, I was a goalie for the longest time, and just the fact that I could never actually get a pair of pads or anything that I was fully 100% comfortable with. Mm-hmm. So I started cutting up my own pads and modding them and just things like that, and it was just like,
wouldn't it be great if I could just make stuff that worked out of the box?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just, it was a labor of love for quite some time, just trying to figure out how to make it all happen. But I ended up getting in contact with the owners of Verbero when they first started out. We started doing stuff together. We made sticks, we made gloves. The first couple iterations of the Verbero glove were my design, which I'm proud of because that design ended up going into the NHL, and that was pretty sweet.
That's awesome.
I bought that company in, I believe it was 2012, 2013, something like that. Could be wrong, could have been later, but it was somewhere around there is when I bought that company, and then we started working together, and our partnership with all that ended around 2018. I sold the company, and now since 2018, I've been working on this one, which is Epic, and the name is actually pretty cool. The name has everything to do with my family and where we come from as a unit. When I met my wife, she had a pre-started family. She had 2 kids, and my son, my now son, at the time he was my stepson. He wanted to come up with a name to call our new family, and there was 3 of them. There was 1 of me, and now we got that one back there.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. So there were 3 Pascuas, 1 Costa. So if you look at Epic, it's actually a 3P1 and C, which is
that's awesome.
3 Pascuas, 1 Costa. So
that's awesome.
The Epic family.
That's great. That's great. No, and I love that, dude. I love how at the center of it is family, and that's just awesome. You love to hear about it. You love to see it, and the fact that you even were able to use that in the name it's even better. That's just awesome.
We were in everything that has come from that name, this company. It's all been done by family. Either I've created the text logo that says 3P1C, and then my son actually did the E3 logo that I have on most all the hats, and I have them on the butt ends of the sticks and everything like that. It's just a clean, clean look, but it's just E3. It's simple, right? And that's what we are. We're if you look at any of the products that we have, we're not overly flashy about anything. And in a space of hockey equipment nowadays, it's just getting flashier and flashier and flashier for no particular reason other than being eye-catching. Yeah. The fact that if you look at our sticks versus everybody else's sticks or gloves or anything like that on a rack or on a shelf, we stand out because we are so minimalist and plain.
Well, it looks sleek. Like that's what I'll say, because I wasn't there for when we got our sticks, but when I finally got to see mine and everything, that was my first thought, was just how simple and slick it was. First of all, I'm kind of colorful right now. I'm a very just wear all black all the time kind of guy, and I just love that slick black look to that stick. It's awesome. I'm gonna, when I get back to playing, I'm getting a Goldie stick. I'll tell you that right now.
I need to send you one of those too. I need to wait for more bags to come in so I can send you one of those.
And those bags are awesome too. That's a really nice material and everything. Cool? Those are awesome.
So they work perfectly well, right? Like you can load up a bunch of sticks in them and take them anywhere you want. And,
they're awesome. I'm pretty sure the guys used them over the weekend because we're playing in MIHA, and nice. I'm pretty sure the guys used the stick bag to transport some sticks, and it's nice because then you just have sticks laying everywhere. Because I drive a 2004 Taurus. I have goalie sticks just everywhere in that car, man. It's crazy.
I hear you, man.
Yeah. No, man, but like I said, man, I love, like I said, your mission statement where it's about family and community. Like I said, I love that because, I mean, that's what hockey is. I mean, look at what hockey has done for us. I mean, we're on different sides of the coast, and now we're hanging out and doing good things together. You know what I mean?
Hockey brings people together.
It's awesome, man. It's great. It's great.
Steal a line from Shorzy there.
Listen, that is such a good show. That show,
so good. Oh my god.
It's almost a love letter to hockey.
Right.
Like, especially the scene where like they're about to play their last game and the reporter's talking to her. I don't want to butcher the line, but like saying it. But she's like, "What I love about hockey players is how they take losing so personally, but if you win as a team, pretty much." Like, I saw that. I was like, I feel that every time. I know I'm just in some, rec bush league, but like that's how I feel after every loss. That's how I feel after every win. Like, just nail it. They nail the culture of it. Yeah.
It's honestly crazy, and you can be completely from a different world. Like a different sport entirely. Like perfect example. We were just in Vegas playing in that tournament, and my barber, who's also a 3-time black belt in jiu-jitsu, can't make this stuff up. he's been fighting jiu-jitsu his whole life. He's super, super, super good and well known. Great trainer, all this kind of stuff. And he's also a barber on the side, and that's why it looks so good.
Looking crisp. Chris, I need to go see him.
So I ended up telling him, I'm going to go out and play in this tournament. And he's just like, man, I've always wanted to play hockey. And it's like, if you always wanted to, why don't you?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I mean, I never really found the time. I'm like, well, can you get away in a couple of weeks? We're going to go to Vegas. Just, it's like, it's a big tournament. He's never skated any kind of hockey before, never held a stick before in his life.
Oh my god!
And we were just like, come out, man. Just come out, have fun. That's all it's about. We don't care who wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just come out and have a good time. And he's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna come do it.
Nice.
So I picked him down a stick and a couple pairs of gloves and everything. Just like,
let's go.
Up, so he showed up, and he said he had the time of his life, and that. Like the camaraderie and the ability to say, like, you're in the locker room and you start gearing up and you feel it from that moment till even after you leave the arena, you're about to go to war with these guys that you now call brothers.
Yeah. No.
And it's a huge thing. It's just like, we lost our first game.
Yeah.
Nobody was down on anybody specifically. We were all like, we just got to get better.
Yeah.
We just got to get better as a team. Let's play together. Let's figure it out. Second game, come in, crushed it, did well. Everybody won as a team.
Yep.
The third game, shut out an undefeated team 4-0. It's like we all played to the way that we all wanted to play.
Nice.
And that was the whole thing, was that we won every game as a team and we lost every game as a team. Not one person lost it individually. Not one person won it individually. We were all the same person, the same team.
Love it.
It was great.
And that's what it's about, man. That's everything. That's so cool. That's such a cool story. Because for me, even, I didn't play hockey. I was good 7 years since the last time I played hockey. Not like street hockey, And I started playing in Grove City at the Y. And it's funny how you talk about like how quickly you can be part of this community and stuff, because it was pretty quickly. I just started talking to everybody. Next thing I know, I hang out with these guys every day. They're some of my best friends in the world now. They will do anything for me. I do anything for them, and it just goes across the board for everybody. Maybe it gets a little bit. With like teams and stuff, it can get people kind of stick to their team sometimes, but you're still part of that community. And
which of course,
yeah,
it'll happen.
But what can you do?
But 100%, you're a hockey player. You'll go through the wall for another hockey player. That's for sure.
That's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. But yeah, man. Again, hey, I don't want to take up too much of your time.
It's all good, man. I'm just happy to be a part. Honestly.
Hey, dude,
I didn't know I was your first guest. That's cool too.
Yeah, you were our first guest, buddy. Yeah, no. Again, and like I said, meeting you that first time, I know that was a little bit more formal, more business and stuff, and I was kind of just in the background like this listening. But But yeah, but like I said, man,
I'm looking at the phone, going like, "What's that guy?"
yeah, that's just the guy in the background, But like I said, man, but again, thank you so much for coming on here, giving me some of your time. Like I said, it's a wonderful story. I love that it's family based first, and everybody, please check out Epic Hockey online, Facebook, all of it. They got it all. Great merch, great product, and I'm looking to see what you guys keep coming out with.
Speaking of stuff coming out, if you haven't checked it out yet, we got a beta coming out.
Oh.
If you don't know what a beta is basically I give you a product that we're not done designing and finishing yet. You tell us what you love and hate about it, and maybe you're indifferent, who cares? Tell us exactly what you feel about it, what we could change and fix. We go and actually fix it, make it a perfect product, and then when it releases, you get a new one, a finished one, for free.
Hey, there you go, guys. Get on it. Get on it. Start signing up, right? Is it a sign up?
To sign up, if you go on the website right now, you can join the Epic Society and you can get early access to the beta. And if you don't, for whatever reason, want to join the society, don't know why you wouldn't. But if you don't want to join the society, then you can wait until the 16th, and on the 16th you can get into the beta. But the beta closes on the 30th.
Okay. All right, so everybody, get on it. Get on it. It's time. The time is now. Then. All right, man. Well, hey, Dan, again, thank you so much. Enjoy time with your family and everything. And I'm looking forward to talking to you more and more, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Hey, appreciate you, buddy. Thank you.
All right. See you.
Hey, guys, you know what time it is. Back to school and back to hockey. Visit Epic Hockey online to check out the newest and greatest in the hockey industry. They've got custom sticks, custom gloves, and oh yeah, they're all at a great price. Make sure you visit them on their social media and their website to find out all about this new cutting-edge company. Visit them at epichockey.com. Epic Hockey, a proud sponsor of Grove City Hockey.
So our first championship of the day was the Windy City Syndicate taking on the Indy Inline, and what a heck of a game that was! Literally, probably the toughest game that we'll see this season for these two teams. Indy Inline came out with a 2-0 lead after one. Harry Shaw and Rich Majotki. I'm probably butchering that name, but that's the nature of the beast. Those guys scored 2 goals in the last 3 minutes to take a 2-0 lead into the second. Windy City battled back to even the score before Zach McKelvey notched in the game winner in the second period, and you saw no scoring in that third period, and it was a hard fought game. Both teams played smart. Windy City had 2 penalties to Indy's 1, but Indy's 1 came with a matching minor with the Windy City Syndicate, so there was really no advantage to either team. But yeah, I mean, what a heck of a game to see and to watch. I don't know if I don't think I called that game. I think I called the Tropics and Desperados game, if I'm not mistaken. With our boy Taden.
Young buck.
That kid, I love calling the games with him. He is so funny.
Yeah, he's great.
If you guys haven't had a chance to check it out, go to our YouTube channel at Grove City Hockey on YouTube in your search bar and check out the Indy tournament. Everything was phenomenal to watch. On to the T3B championships. We had the Chicago Hitmen taking on the Indian line. And let us just recap that. This one did not end well for the home team. Let's just put. I believe this was also set up for an early mercy game. Yeah, the Hitmen scored. The final of this was 10-2. I don't know if anybody, once you hit 8, that's when they call the game.
So wait, did it get called in the second or third?
They had 6.5 minutes left to go in the third.
Whew.
Yeah.
Piled them on, huh?
Yeah, it was insane. So the Chicago Hitmen came out with, they were up 4-1 by the second period. Then Indy scored both of their goals in the second to try to come back, but it was already 7-2 at that point. And then the Chicago Hitmen just added 3 more. You had Vince Esposito with 4 goals on the whole day in that particular game, along with Jake Lesiak. Andrew Worth also put in a couple goals. Aaron Droboznicki. Again, I'm gonna butcher your name, Aaron. We're gonna call you Dobe. He's the one that got the 2 goals for Indian line. Big guy, solid guy, good hands. It was fun to watch him play. But that Chicago team was just too deep, and just did not let up on the gas.
Esposito, he played for Rampage last year, didn't he?
He played for quite a few teams as a sub.
So this is him actually being on a team then.
Active stick, but Vinny, or Esposito, as everybody else calls him too. He is actually in the team this year. And so this is his team, and it was nice to see the pinstripes come back. I haven't seen any pinstripes since the Great Lakes Assassins were around when it was one of the teams that I brought in.
Yeah. I'll tell you, man, he's fun to watch. Esposito, he is a fun player to watch.
So smart, so fast.
Mm-hmm. He's got hands. I've watched him undress some goalies. He's a good player, man. He's a good player.
Definitely not one to play around lightly. And then, so our next game will be the Chicago Tropics against the Detroit Desperados, which this was the game of the weekend for me. At least I thought it was. You had 2 really tough goaltenders with Chris Leidigson for the Tropics, and then you had Andrew Bogan for the Desperados. Both of those guys are leading their categories. Chris with wins, and Andrew with goals against. Andrew, I think, is at 2.25 goals against, whereas Chris was at 3.25 or something like that. So, only a goal difference between the two. So after one, the Detroit Desperados said, you know what, we're going to take a 1-goal lead into the second period. And then after that, Trevor Hansen said, no, I'm going to tie it up real quick, and then followed up with a McNicholas goal to make it 2-1. Jeff Nolfold for the Desperados said, I'm going to tie it back up. Then you had Trevor Hansen take it and knot it up to 3-2. Then you had McCaddy taking the Tropics to a 4-2 lead. Then the Desperados said, you know what? It's time to come back. So finally scoring on the day was Dan Arnold coming back, and then Jonathan Wells, who tied it up in the third. So you had a 3-goal stretch, so it was 3-2 after 2, and then it was then Sean Hughes with the final 5-4 for the Tropics with 3.5 minutes to go. I thought the Desperados were gonna. They pulled their goalie. They tried to get that extra attacker in there, but they just couldn't maintain that puck possession. They had a couple of chances, but like you said, that big solid tendy for the Tropics, Chris Leidingson, he was just saying, "Not today, boys. I'm going to take the championship back to Chicago."
Yeah.
And it was a fun game to watch.
So that's two Chicago teams taking home in week 1, eh?
Yeah, and there was only one penalty called that whole game, and it was an inadvertent trip. Even I went, that was kind of a weak call.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a heck of a championship, heck of a first weekend. I don't know about you, but I'm excited for Detroit coming up in the next couple of days.
You know I'm going to be there, right?
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Can't wait to hang out with you, buddy.
Yeah, I will be coming to Detroit, and I'm very excited to be on board for this weekend. Hey, I just love Detroit. First of all,
no, it's a fun city to watch some hockey. It's not called Hockey Town for no reason.
Exactly.
So we've got again we're going to it's a T3 T4 tournament. So just like what we saw in Indy, the T3 teams this weekend that you're going to see in Taylor are going to be Healthy Scratch Hockey Club, Detroit People, the Motor City Magic, Lansing Street Sharks are making a return. They want to add to their season total. The Great Lakes Growlers, Columbus Heat, the Pittsburgh Shockwave dropping in the T3 team there. Top Shelf Hockey out of Mount Morris is coming down. And the Lockport Armada.
Ooh, Armada, eh?
Yeah. It's going to be pretty cool. So then you've got our T4 teams will be the Buffalo Herd, the Chicago McDanks, the Lansing Street Sharks coming back again in T4, the Chicago Damage, and the Motown Knights. And I believe there's a new team. Is it the Bulldogs or the Bullfrogs? Let me double check. On here it's listed as the Detroit High Nooners, but I know that's not the case. So I'm assuming that's the Detroit Bulldogs. And if that is the case, that's the team that is predominantly all women. From my understanding, they have like a couple of guys.
Nice.
But yeah, so I'm excited to see what they bring to the league, and if they can start bringing in more women to play. It would be nice to see the ladies get some attention that they deserve, because those ladies, they play a heck of a hockey game.
We've talked about it before. I mean, people just think it's just a predominantly man sport, but man, I'll tell you, I love watching women hockey. They play so fierce. I mean,
I think they play a little dirtier.
I think they do. It's great. I mean, you watch like interviews and stuff, and with like players from like the national team and stuff, and they'll talk about like, oh, we chirp just as bad as the boys. If not, sometimes it can be a little dirtier. And I don't know. I'm just excited. I love the speed and everything. So the more women play the sport, the better. Just keep growing the game. It's for everybody. This game is for everybody.
That's exactly right. So I'm excited for it. I know you're excited for it.
Yeah,
hopefully
we
have some exciting content to show you guys here in the near future. It's going to be interesting to see how this all turns out this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be a good time. Again, I'm excited to be my first tournament of the year to come broadcast and hang out with all the boys, and I'm ready to watch some hockey.
Oh yeah, me too, buddy.
But all right, well, I think we got about it all covered, don't we, huh, buddy?
I think so. I think we're ready to call this one time of death, there, bud.
Yeah, there we go. But Hey, everybody, thanks for watching. Please follow us on Facebook, like and subscribe to the Grove City Hockey YouTube page. And I don't know, Ben, do you have anything else to add, my guy?
Don't forget to, if you have any questions or comments or concerns, don't hesitate to either email us at grovecityhockeyllc@gmail.com or drop some comments down on our YouTube channel at Grove City Hockey in your search bar on YouTube. Yeah, other than that, man, just like and subscribe.
Yep. Hey, until next time, everybody. See you in Detroit.
Yep.
See you in Detroit.
See you in Detroit, bud.
Later.